most he's had in a single season already in week 12, and he's not even getting the ball like that. So what happens when you get him the ball sooner? And we're going to get to this in a moment. But going back to Dan Quinn's response, it is a different program. There's a lot of smart people over there. Help them out. Seriously. Come together and figure this out. And devise a plan that is specific for the team you are facing. Don't wait for them to feed you. Don't wait for them to feed you. You dictate it like you were before. And because Jaden doesn't like to make mistakes, the reality is if he doesn't see it, he's not going to throw it. And even if he throws it, it's like he's overthinking it, it's not with the level of confidence. Then it becomes when he is trying to make a connection, when it is on target, it's just the number of drops and fumbles, turnovers. This team was not turning the ball over. And I'm like, geez, how did this happen? So it's equal to blame. And I'm going to keep repeating this because I think it's important. It's super important because special teams had a bad day. It's never a good day to have a bad day, if that makes sense. But against the Dallas Cowboys makes it always worse for everybody, right? So they had a bad day at a bad time, missing kicks and missing those tackles on Cavante Turpin, who made he made an excellent play, y'all. Like sometimes you just got to face the fact that somebody's going to make plays. These people are good. They're professionals over there. They're going to make a play. And Cavante, he made them pay for that, right? He really did. He fumbled. He recovered. He hadn't been touched. He booked it. And I don't blame him. I was like, there goes Cavante. I was waiting for it to happen. And it did. Over something that they probably just, in the moment, it just, made a great play. I mean, that doesn't make Jeremy Reeves or Jordan McGee feel any better, but that's what happened, but it goes back to the point of the play isn't over until the play is officially dead. It's over, and it's not over, right? And they had to pay for that. But when you have those kind of issues, you haven't had them all season. Let us give them some slack, everybody, okay? You have not had these special teams issues all season. So, yes, absolutely, fix them. And if Austin Seibert is still hurt, which is abundantly clear that he is, just based on how he was kicking, no, go ahead and pull Zane Gonzalez up, and maybe you need to put Austin Seibert on IR. You need to give him another week, do something. But that wasn't it. He's clearly still injured. That right hip is something else and is messing with him. So he can't do this right now. Okay, doesn't look right. And that's what it is. You already know that's what it is because it's just too outlandish and it didn't even look like him. He's hurt. Okay, sit and let him have a break and heal fully. Zane Gonzalez did his part, and so just go that way. But the offense execution. And now I want to show y'all what I wanted to show y'all. Are you really ready for this one? Because I don't know if you all ready for this one. This is probably when I had to go back to using your clues and pulling receipts, because I'm like, execution, that's just straight fundamentals. That is for position coaches overall to get that right. You should not have to get that right for talent these days. You should not have to, in week 12, say, hey, everybody, you got to catch the football. Hey, everybody, you have to protect the football. These guys are trying to force fumbles. They're going to come up on you, behind you, and punch it out. They're going to come up beside you and punch it out. You know this. Everybody's doing it. It's a technique that everybody's doing it now. The kids at the youth football games, they do it now. Everybody's doing it. So this is going to happen. No one should have to teach that at this time. But because there's now been a nosedive, it's almost as if teams have also understand the weaknesses of each one of these players as well. How many times have you heard Coach Kingsbury said you got to get the ball to Terry. And sometimes he absolutely obliges. He does it. They do it. They get the ball to Terry. There you go. They got the ball to Terry. One thing that impressed me, not even impressed me, but it's like, duh, right? Duh, everybody. First play of the game, Cooper Rush gets the ball to who? CeeDee Lamb. He going to keep getting the ball to CeeDee Lamb until what? You stop that option. Right? And for the most part, you see that's what you just do. You get the ball to, I know people like to use the word weapons, and I've been trying to find another word to call weapons because I feel like that's negative. I mean, it's not negative, but I just rather not use the word weapons. I've been using the word assets. So you get the ball to your assets, your most valuable assets, right? And in this case, of Terry McLaurin, this is a valuable asset financially and talent-wise. Okay, so you want to get the ball to Terry. That's what makes sense. I went back into my arsenal of clips and press conferences, and I'm like, there's something that I'm missing here. Because one, I'm smart. So I typically, and I know I can figure this out, it's something I'm missing here. And then it dawned on me. I'm going to show you all a clip. And I want you all to remember when Cliff Kingsbury shared with us when we were all in Arizona about what he did while he was away from football. Listen to this clip and love button fire emoji if you remember this. And then I'm going to tell you why this is important.
Yeah, I studied a bunch of NFL film. I talked to Todd Monken before I got back into it with the Ravens. You know, I liked what he transitioned from Georgia to there, and then just really being around Lincoln and studying his offense and just tried to figure out, hey, if I'm going to do this again, how can we take the next step and be better moving forward? And had a lot of time on my hands and was able to hopefully evolve a little bit.
It almost woke me up out of my sleep last night, you all. I said, oh my goodness. I remember that time Coach Kingsbury said he studies Todd Monken's offense. And let me tell you something about Todd Monken's offense. And I can, because my Bowie TV colleague, Bowie TV covers the Baltimore Ravens, and Karita Parks does an excellent job. She's out at the Harbaugh Bowl right now, out in LA covering it. So I'm going to get off here soon so I could pay attention to what she's reporting on and watch the game. And I can't wait because I know she does an amazing job, right? But because she's there and because we have a presence there, I said, if there's always been one thing that's been a criticism of Todd Monken, it is that sometimes he deviates from the obvious answer because it sometimes is like uses a competitive advantage. Go back to the AFC Championship game. All the things that were the Baltimore Ravens' strengths, they didn't do it in the name of competitive advantage. There's been times where they haven't used and utilized Derrick Henry in certain plays in the name of competitive advantage. So I said, if Cliff is studying Todd Monken, perhaps the thought is, if I tell everybody I got to get Terry the ball more, got to get Terry the ball more, got to get Terry the ball more, then now you're using Terry as a decoy and you're sending the ball everywhere else. Just a thought. But I felt like I used enough of those clues to say, even when people say this right here, don't be predictable, guess what? You're going to have to catch my most valuable asset. Because he would absolutely get the football until you wipe that option out. In this case, okay, you just gonna have to do. And it was right in my face. I said, he told us, he said it. And that is definitely what he does. But when it's clutch time, who do you go to? For the most part, because we know that Noah Brown caught the Hail Mary. And and that Hail Mary football and all the things associated with it is sitting up in Canton right now because it was a beautiful thing. But sometimes just good old common sense and logic will see you through. It really will. Because, hey, that's like the Eagles not giving the ball to Saquon Barkley. That's like the Kansas City Chiefs not using Travis Kelce. That is where I got that from. He studied Tom Monken. And hey, listen, sometimes it works. It worked for the Hail Mary. Sometimes it does work, you all. We can't act like sometimes it doesn't work. Absolutely. Absolutely. It does work sometimes. But you go with the obvious answer, especially once somebody from up top or somebody out there was like, oh, please, Terry beating them. They beating them. Go ahead and get the ball over there. Run as much as you can. Go with what works. The Cowboys has one of the worst run defenses in the league. So I'm not sure if you're not throwing it to Terry why you're throwing it anyway. Because you can run the football on them. That was one of the reasons why Jaden's rushing touchdown was as successful as it was, because the Cowboys' run defense is not very good at all. So do what works, right? Yes, Brian went out early, and that hurts. And of course, toward the end of the game, we all know that Austin went out, and we know that Chris Rodriguez hopefully will be back. I haven't checked my phone. But you still have Jeremy McNichols. So you have that. But use Terry sooner. And with that being said, love button fire emoji if you're still with me. I'm going to close with my question to Dan Quinn earlier today on areas of improvement. Check it out. Hey, Coach, if you could choose 3 areas of improvement for your team right now, what would they be?
I would want to say the first one, I'd love to see the speed and overall physicality improve. That's part of the identity, Candi. I think that's really important for us to demonstrate on an every game basis. And having a later bye, there's a factor in that that's difficult. That's a real thing. And I want to make sure we punch ourselves right through that ceiling getting into it, to say you keep going, you keep battling. It's just how we get down and do business. So that part of, staying right in it, I want to see. I would love to see on, for us, the ball, and say, we lost the turnover margin yesterday. If that part, the ball hawking opportunities, I think we got one knocked out, recovered it, but thought we had some chances for some others that we missed those opportunities. And then, of course, finishing in the minus is never a good way to get rolling. So that would be the second one. And then on the third one, I would say the line of scrimmage, on both sides. That's always the big guys on both sides, pass blocking, run blocking, pass rush, run defense. Those guys, that's always where it starts. And so those would be the 3 things for us to level up on heading into this game against Tennessee. The energy, the physicality, the ball, and then the last part is our line of scrimmage. That's those 3 things will always be in the front of my mind.
So let me be clear on this. The O-line has been getting they've been getting the brakes beat off them a bit here. Okay. Very stout, but they've definitely been banged up. But the defensive line was not doing too well either. Okay. They really were not. So it is one of those things too, where yes, the late buy factors in, but hey, it's you're getting beat. Some of this stuff you're just getting beat, and you really have to come together to really say, all right, fundamentals, just straight up, don't drop the football, keep the football protected. Defense, go and get the football. Don't miss tackles. Get into because at one point they had improved in tackling. We're seeing that going down a bit. Get the tackling back up to par. Go get the football. Now they definitely got the football back a few times, and that's just because the Cowboys' offense was so terrible at the beginning. I mean, it was like they were just giving it. Here you go. But the offense couldn't. Commanders' offense couldn't do anything with those opportunities. But you need to see that more consistently. Even when the offense was more up-tempo, going no huddle, they seemed more confident. They seemed more in a flow. Now it just feels like they're off on it for some reason. Wanted coach's thoughts on that, of where they need to focus. And some of that just goes back to all of the things that he mentioned on what they needed to improve upon. The first 7 weeks of the season were things that they did very well. And that is my concern. The regression of it all. Why is it now going down? It's such a decline, right? It is a speedy decline. It was like they were good, and then they just, they were just good, solid, efficient, and then they just were not at all. And it's a drastic change. So I think they just have to get down to some of the fundamentals of it. Absolutely. And they really need to come together. I want to see some of that, if that collaborative decision making is happening, so that they can really game plan for the opponent and say, based on where they are weak, this is how we get them. This is how we go. But you have to execute. We're going to call these plays. We're going to do what works. We're going to, and go back to thriving on where folks have unique skill sets. Don't get comfortable, right? But remember, don't get comfortable, but don't forget all of the assets that you have. What makes them strong? What are they really, really great at? And utilize them as such. We've just seen such a decline in those areas. I think that the defense, while I mentioned the defensive line was kind of getting worked also, there's something to be said about them just staying in the game as long as they can. But when you are losing the time of possession battle, it gets tough. One of the things that Coach Joe Witt said about the Eagles game is that, he really thought his men did a great job. 53 minutes. 53 minutes. They lasted for 53 minutes, y'all, and they did. But that other side, that other 7 minutes, they got. Games are 60 minutes. So he said, how do I get them 60 minutes? And that's still something that they're trying to figure out. Definitely some growing pains. Do I think they're going to lose out? No, I don't think they are. I would hope not. But hey, at the same token, I said 7 was the ceiling, and anything else is just a pleasant surprise. And I still feel that way. I absolutely still feel that way. If we're looking at perspective, I absolutely think that the staff is better. I think the team is better. I think the culture is better. It's all better. I think that last year they were all they won 4 games all season. So technically at 7, it is an improvement, but you got to keep improving. And the way to improve is the things that you're not doing well, do better. And truth be told, what you were doing weeks 1 through 7, do better than that. It's not, you could go, everybody, you don't even have to watch the all 22. You can just watch the TV versions and know you can watch the TV versions, you all, and go to Google and search it, because Google is your friend, and search it and can see the decline in the numbers. And it's not one thing. There are many contributing factors here. Many contributing factors. So we'll see what happens against the Tennessee Titans, because that is a team that's trending upwards, right? That is a team that just beat the Houston Texans. So this goes back to Browns beating the Steelers, Cowboys beating the Commanders, Titans beating the Texans. You cannot look at these records and just assume and write a team off. Every time you get ready to write a team off, because that's what you're used to doing, because that's just how you look at sports and how you look at football, remind yourself that every game is an audition for coaches and players. So some of these people going to bring their best selves to the table. So always, every time you want to look at it in a way and say, oh, this should be a winnable game, use your clues, pay attention in the press conferences of who they're talking about, are good players, whatever, see if they're playing, see how they've been doing this season, and watch your back. That's how you got to do that. All right, you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And Commanders fans, hold on, be strong. Listen, 7 wins so far, only 4 last year. And you still came back for more this season. So hold on. And hey, improvements. Who knows why it's not there yet, but they definitely have to get back to whomever they were weeks 1 through 7. Because I'm not even sure who these people are, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, you all be blessed. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody, if you celebrate. And even if you don't celebrate, hey, listen, it's something to be thankful for every single day that you are alive and in your right mind. Just be blessed, everybody. Be safe. Enjoy. I want you to enjoy every single day, but definitely during the holiday season, if there's some loved ones, some people you know you haven't talked to in a long time, go catch up with them, say hello, send them a text, send them a DM and say, what's up? How you doing? Give them a phone call. Just keep in touch with your loved ones, you guys. It's very, very important to do that. Okay. All right, y'all. Go ahead and watch Monday Night Football, whatever else it is that you're watching. And I will be seeing you all again soon.